Safrak Pavey is a journalist, writer, activist, and politician. In 2011, after 15 years away in Switzerland, she returned to her native Turkey and was elected deputy from the Istanbul province, and was appointed deputy chairperson of the Republican People's Party, or CHP. She is a leading voice on the world stage for many issues, including human rights and inclusion for those with disabilities in politics as well as other leadership positions. During Ability Magazine's visit to the United Nations, we met with several delegates from across the world. Here is an excerpt from our conversation with Safrak Pavey.
I had a train accident in Zurich where I was studying in Switzerland, and the train left with the doors open, so and that is how it happened.
We'll be in touch. That's my contacts. Anytime, email.
Yeah.
Now that I won the elections, I'll be back.
Good luck.
Okay.
Very good
All right.
luck.
Okay. Thank you.
And that was just, it can happen to anyone, but afterwards I met with the world of disability, which actually increased my sensitivities and perspectives, gave me a new perspective in life. So later on I've decided, I gave a struggle for myself to stand up again like everybody else. I've learned also falling is not a bad thing, because then you learn how to stand up again. As a person who have fell several times or once in your life, you know how to stand up again. So that experience certainly helped me. Also to discover the world of disability, where there's a lot of discrimination that happens from the society, interaction with the society that you find yourself in, be it physical to psychological challenges that you face at every level, discrimination. So I've decided to work for that as well later in my life, when I was working with the United Nations, and then I became the first secretary to the Committee on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. Well, one area that certainly I'm very much willing to work on is participation of disabled people in political and public life. Now that I'm a politician, I see how very little that representation is across the world. As I get exposed to different parliaments, local authorities, wherever we go, I sit on 3 different international committees as my parliamentary work. So I see how very little is invested in disabled people to be politically participating in the decision-making mechanisms. This Committee on the Rights of Women, again another human rights committee at the UN, I think there should be men involved in that as well, because we can't resolve women's rights issues without looking at the other half of the society. For instance, violence against women cannot be resolved by teaching women their rights or protecting them only, because they will be going to the same reality. And often in my country I find it that we help them to rebuild their lives and teach them their rights and try to empower them, and they go back to the same household where the male member of that household is in the same way. So they get exposed to even more violence, knowing their rights this time. So sometimes we forget the other half. Not only those who are exposed to the violation of their rights should be involved in programs and committees, monitoring committees, but the other half as well should be involved, and the other angles and perspectives. Only then we can resolve issues in a society, not by isolating further. There is also another aspect to the disability. I believe that the world doesn't want to face it, like in Syria right now, or anywhere that you spot a conflict or a violent situation happening. With veterans coming back home, we suddenly realize that that conflict actually disabled people, even more than the casualties that we lost. In humanitarian work, which I use to work for with United Nations Refugee Agency in a humanitarian emergency situation or conflict situation, be it a natural disaster or a human-made disaster like wars. We always used to calculate the results by saying, 4 times the casualties equals how many people disabled by this war. Always think that from that war, not only the casualties will be the negative outcome of that war. Learning our lessons from our mistakes did not happen in humankind. That's why we are up for wars again. We are up for this. We pay a big price. I mean, a single person's life full of a lot of challenges, opportunities, good things, bad things, but it's already quite a lot. And that's not enough for us. We need to create more mayhem in the world. So we really need that? I don't think we do. Whoever is behind these war decisions, whoever is behind changing public opinion, making it aggressive towards another nation, is guilty of stealing from our future, our next generation's future, not only ours. Because just like nature writes, looking at long-term, short-term gains and benefits out of cutting off Amazon. Yes, you will be filthy rich, but then you have made the next generation completely poor. So just like causing a war. So we have to be very careful in our steps when we are going overconfident in our decisions. We just have to remember our personal pains, our personal achievements sometimes, how hard it is to make it, and try to settle for smaller but long term. After building United Nations, we should try to respect this system as well, of states coming together, trying to solve things by dialogue rather than, launching wars on each other. So I believe, yes, if you are a lazy person, which is fine, which is okay, but then stay at home and don't get involved with decision making, because decision making needs patience and hard work, and war is for lazy people's choice, I believe. And it's fine for me to be lazy too, but just don't get involved in decision making then. Don't go for the short-term decision. Peace always takes more work and always takes more effort and more dialogue, more screaming at each other, but still trying to find a way to listen to each other as well. And that's only possible by talking. That's the only thing humankind has. So as a talent. So I think, be it Syria, be it different issues related to conflict resolution, we can do it if we really are persistent and consistent with our aim. What do we want to do? Go for the easy way or go for the difficult but much more durable way, which is peace?